Hey guys, today's video is on a record, or I guess more accurately, a CD that I've been planning to cover since I first started making videos 15 years ago, and I'm just getting around to it today. So here we go. It kind of starts out with this record here by DJ Adam 12. Who also known as DJ Alphabet, who's done sort of a couple interesting things in the 90s. He did cuts for a voodoo record, as in Voodoo of Western Hemisphere, and a few other things. This is probably his most interesting and best known record. It's an EP on Sirius Entertainment, and it features guys like Ed O.G., Eddie Meeks, Saukrates, Helter Skelter. Adam 12 is still pretty prolific. In fact, more prolific than this kind of underground stuff now. He's pretty much left hip hop. He does goth punk rock stuff and all, but he also he DJs. He was the official DJ for Obama. I guess when he was running for president and going around doing speeches and events. And he had there's a whole, if you go to his Wikipedia page, he's one of these guys who has a controversy section in his Wikipedia page. And can read all about how he was canceled. He owned a goth club that was a secret membership thing. And apparently it was both racist and had lots of sexual assault. And, we're not going to get into all that. It's a whole rabbit hole you can go down to if you want to dig into those articles. I started to do it and then I pulled out of it because we're not really here to talk about DJ Adam 12, although interestingly, remember that guy from Silicon Valley who was, as in the HBO sitcom Silicon Valley, who was canceled, the stand-up improv guy? His whole thing was at that club by DJ Adam 12 too. So that's all mixed together. But anyway, so that's DJ Adam 12. He had this EP in 1998, and that's really all you need to know about this EP. Because I'm really here to talk about this CD. So this has no date on there or anything, and obviously it's clearly just a handmade CDR. But okay, first of all, as you can see, for Elliott Wilson, and yes, that's Elliott Wilson of, XXL, Rap Radar, and of course, at one point in time, he was a managing music editor of The Source magazine, which is sort of how I acquired this. I'm not going to really get into that either. If you've read, I contributed a story for Dig magazine, which is all about sort of interesting stories in hip-hop digging, and I talk all about how I came upon a lot of Elliott Wilson stuff and ended up in my collection. So, and I checked recently, that's still available, so you can still get that issue and read all about that. But by hook or by crook, whatever mystery, I happen to have this CD, which was once made for Elliott Wilson. As you can see, it's a 5-track CDR, which clearly is sort of like a promo thing, presumably sent to him by a publicist, although there's barely any info to really tell us. And we can crack it open here. It's just like a general verbatim CD. Elliott Wilson CD. That's all. That's how it was labeled. That's how I found it. That's how I got it. That's what this is. Now, I brought up the DJ Adam 12 EP because, as you'll notice, most of these songs are right off the DJ Adam 12 EP. The E-Rule and Ed O.G. tracks are right off the EP. Saukrates, Ultimate Rush, basically off the Adam 12 EP, and that's where this gets interesting. Although I guess maybe, since if you're looking at it and you're curious, first I'll just throw in there's also a lot of the Dark Man, The Ultimate Heist. That's just, the lead single from, it's not his first single, he had an underground one, but it's his first big single when he got signed, that big beat and all that. And so this is just that. That's not interesting. I mean, it's a good song, but okay, it's on the CD. The other songs, though, are pretty much connected to that DJ Adam 12 EP. And Ultimate Rush especially is interesting because this version does not feature Helter Skelter. Ultimate Rush here is called Ultimate MC, but the whole song, if you listen to the hook, it goes like the Ultimate MC Rush. So either title makes equal amount of sense. Technically, the official release is Ultimate Rush, and this is Ultimate MC. But the real difference is that it doesn't feature Helter Skelter. And you might say, well, why is that fun or cool or interesting? Helter Skelter are great. Why would you want a version without them? And certainly if I had to choose, if only one version existed, and in some senses only one version does exist, and it's the one on the EP, I would want the one with Helter Skelter. I would want the one with Rock and Rock. They're fantastic. This is them in their prime. Great. They sound great over this beat. This is a beat that Cesarface later jacked, but it came here first. DJ Adam 12 made it. But why this is interesting is because when you remove Helter Skelter, Rock and Rock, they do the first verse, and then the rest of the song is pretty much all Saukrates. And so when you remove them, that leaves basically a blank space. And this version has an exclusive, original, never heard before anywhere else Saukrates verse where Rock and Rock would be. I believe this is sort of the original version, I would assume. And so basically it was just a full Saukrates song produced by Adam 12, presumably for his EP, although maybe it's also intended for another project. And then later on, they added Helter Skelter to it. So they took off the first Saukrates verse, put on Helter Skelter, and that's the version that everybody really knows.
I'm ready. The ultimate MC.
Allow me to elaborate. Lyrical miscreant depicted in the mental piece you're all seeing. Presage or demise, stabilize MCs. Redundant, please disease ain't worse than these. Circumvent the frauds.
So already, this is an interesting artifact for a rare, unreleased, alternate version of a dope hip-hop track from the 90s. So already, great, fantastic. But even more interesting is there's another song on here, also by Saukrates. Now, Saukrates has another song on the DJ Adam 12 EP with Self-Scientific. This is not that. This is a song called Freeze, which has never been released anywhere else in the world. And I believe not even under any other title. I mean, I've searched. I'm pretty familiar with Saukrates. I have all his albums and stuff. I'm pretty sure it's never, ever been released, even on the sort of compilations of, rare stuff later on. And now if you look here at the bottom here, they credit all the labels. So, obviously Sirius Entertainment for the DJ Adam 12 stuff, Big Beat for Law the Darkman, and Warner Brothers for the other unreleased Saukrates. Now, if you know your Saukrates history, he never put out any records on Warner Brothers, but he was signed to Warner Brothers. So first he came out like underground tip, and, he made a big buzz. He had his independent stuff. Then he got signed to Warner Brothers, but they never released anything. And then a couple years later, they released him from that, and he came out on Capitol Hill. So this presumably, almost certainly, is a Warner Brothers track, probably for a whole, is there like a whole unreleased album? I don't know. But at least this one song exists, and like I said, never heard of it anywhere else, and I've spent time looking. Even over the years, I'll sometimes go back and Google it just to see if anything has come out or anything, and no. And this is a really dope song. It's got a dope track. Saukrates is coming hard. This is Saukrates is one of those guys. There's like a lot of 90s artists who, like, they were really dope and then they kind of fell off and they've come out with new stuff. And you're like, oh yeah, but he's not working with the same producers, or he's not this and that. And he's, you don't really want to hear it. You don't really, his prime is over. And it's like, okay, I have fond memories of that period. I don't need to hear him kind of wreck those memories now. Saukrates is not like that. His new stuff is dope. I mean, sometimes maybe it gets a little experimental, but he's always dope. But still, this is at his prime peak 90s material. And it's a really dope track. I'm going to let you play a clip of it. It's got cool production. Saukrates is coming off hard. It's got a really cool hook where they're cutting up Freeze line from DJ Cool's Let Me Clear My Throat, the original version, not the one with Dougie Fresh and Biz Markie. There's a bit in there where he says, like, when I say freeze, you all freeze, and all that kind of stuff. And they're just kind of chopping that up. The DJ's cutting it up for the hook. So that sounds really dope. Saukrates comes off on here. It's not like a complex, premise of a song or anything. It's just him flexing skills, which is also true of Ultimate Rush. But it's just two killer great songs by Saukrates that really should have come out. I mean, one technically did, and in fact, you could even say in a better version with Helter Skelter, because they're great. But this has the lost Saukrates verse. But more exciting is the whole unreleased Saukrates song, Freeze. So I'm going to let you play a clip of this right now. You can hear it and check it out. It's pretty great. Like I said, it's just a CDR. It's just a handmade thing. So who knows what exists. Is there a complete Warner Brothers album that could even maybe one day be released and resurface? And, I don't know, maybe if people contracted Saukrates, have the rights reverted to him, or they lost in a Warner Brothers vault, which is probably sadly more likely. Or maybe this is the only song. Maybe he only recorded a little bit but I would think because he was signed with them for a couple years and only was kind of putting out guest spots and stuff like that, he probably had a whole album ready to go, I bet, especially since we know there's at least one song. But whatever the case, I'm just going to let you hear it right now because this is a dope track and I wanted to share it. So, unreleased Saukrates, Freeze, from circa 1998. Like, the DJ Adam 12 is from 1998. That would have been right at the end of when Saukrates left Warner Brothers and signed to Capitol Hill and came out with his, stuff. So, maybe 97, probably 98, but definitely right in that time zone. And thank you, Elliot Wilson, even though you didn't know you gave me this. You did. Okay, so thanks for watching, guys. I know it's been a little while since I did a video, but, wait. Also, before I go, I wanted to throw into this video, I've been hip to a new, really dope underground hip-hop magazine. Since, we're talking about XXL and Rap Radar and the Source and all that. There's a new one out here, and I'm not connected to it in any way. I haven't written for it. I haven't contributed. I haven't, I'm not financially attached or anything like that. They just sent me some issues to check out, and it's really cool, so I wanted to hip you guys to it. It definitely deserves a shout out. It definitely deserves you guys looking into it. It's definitely underground focused, so don't expect stories on Cardi B and The Weeknd. Expect stories on guys like Sleep Sinatra, who recently did an album with Custodian Records, Elvis Sensei, Noah 23, guys like that. So here, it's called The Underground Vault. You can see he's got a spine and everything's kind of nicely done. It's kind of really crazy, in some ways eccentric. It's got a table of contents here. You can see they do, it starts off with these crazy record ratings. It's really under art produced. There's very little pictures. It's almost all, at least in the beginning. This is the first issue. This has no pictures. It's all just which I appreciate. Just clear out all the bullshit. Boom, long, in-depth interviews with artists, some serious reviews, book reviews, like they review Uncut's book in here. They do make some more concessions towards the conventional by actually bringing in full color artwork and pictures and stuff like this. And this looks more like the kind of stuff you would expect. But either way, as far as I'm concerned, it's all equally good. It's a really cool magazine. You could order online. They're on Twitter and everything. So just check it out. It's called The Underground Vault. And issue 3 just came out. And as far as I know, they're planning to roll on ahead with plenty more issues. So that's it. I just want to throw that in there. See you guys next time. Now, finally, you get to listen to Freeze by Saukrates. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Freeze!
Freeze, dead in your tracks. My enemies keep 'em close, so I know all the facts. My enemies on my back and my blue suede shoes. Enemies getting pissed, but you must pay dues. Lebanese tactics keep my game on the move. You fake yours, I make mine. I got nothing to prove to you, Jakes. I bake cakes in the kitchen of blues. I think your woman want my chocolate, following her P's and Q's. Mass murder of you bullshit MCs always tempts me to write another line. Your rhyme defense weaker. Ning every time I bring a cold fact to the table. You back up, unable to lock my stable in your life like the cable guy. You ask why? Maybe you should have thought about it before you tried to piss in my eye. Run you with Colombian necktie. Saukrates got one word for ya.